It is possible to establish communication instantaneously from any place at any time. The radio brings into the home this music by leading artists, drama by outstanding actors, speeches by men in public life, and news of world events, together with weather and market reports. Commercial and military aviation depend on radio. The radio operator communicates with other planes and with ground bases. Radio principles are also used in blind flying on a radio beam. The Coast Guard and the Navy, in their constant vigilance, are guided at all times by two-way radio communication with other ships and with their bases of operation. Army tank operations are directed by radio. The tank commander is in radio communication with the tank crews under his command, as well as with the field headquarters. Likewise, every year through the steps and the processes in transmitting or sending radio messages. First of all, the sound waves produced by the announcer are picked up by the microphone, which is one element in the transmitter circuit. This circuit requires a source of electrical energy, shown here as a all sound sources set the molecules of air into vibration in such a manner waves strike the diaphragm of a microphone. As the molecules in the sound wave move back and forth, they set the diaphragm into vibration. In the sound wave move back and forth, they set the diaphragm into vibration. In the carbon microphone, each time the sound waves push and reduces their resistance to the flow of electricity. Thus, more electrons can flow in the circuit. Each time the diaphragm moves out in the transmitting circuit and changes the steady direct current into a pulsating direct current. Although most sounds are complex, tone. At the top, we now trace out a curve to represent the pulsating direct current. All these processes are slowed down in these animated drawings. In order to show clearly how the electrons move in the circuit. The primary coil, which is a part of the transmitter circuit, is at the left, and the secondary coil is at the right. When the magnetic field builds up, the secondary current flows in one direction. When the magnetic field collapses, a current which flows in one direction and then reverses to flow in the other direction is called an alternating current. At the top, we now trace out a curve to represent the alternating current in the secondary. When the curve crosses the zero line, it shows that the current is changing direction in the audio frequency circuits. The microphone brings about a pulsating direct current. The transformer changes the modulator tube. The broadcasting station uses a high-frequency current called the carrier wave. A generator supplies a direct current to the oscillator tube. The oscillator tube changes this direct current to a high-frequency alternating current of several 100,000 cycles per second. This radio frequency current also goes to the modulator tube. This is the modulator tube in which the radio frequency. In the modulator tube, the audio frequency current shown at the lower left modifies the radio frequency current shown above. To review the events, the modulated radio frequency current coming from the modulator goes to the power tubes. The power tubes radio waves are sent out in all directions. Thus, from the power tube, the modulated radio waves go to the antenna. The radio messages leave the antenna as electromagnetic waves and travel out into space with the speed of light. For special events, this portable device broadcasts by shortwave to a local Sound waves strike the diaphragm of the microphone. A pulsating direct current is set up in the transmitter circuit. Sound waves strike the diaphragm of the microphone. A pulsating direct current is set up in the transmitter circuit. This is changed by the transformer to an alternating current, which is amplified and sent to the modulator tube. A generator delivers a direct current which the oscillator tube changes to a high frequency current, which is fed into the modulator tube, where it is modified by the audio frequency current coming from the microphone. The modulated current is boosted by the power tube, which is coupled to the antenna. Here the radio frequency sets up electromagnetic waves, which travel out into space with a speed of 186,000 miles a second.